Hey guys, Matt here. This is my review of The Dark Knight Rises. This movie is directed by Christopher Nolan, and the movie stars Christian Bale, Anne Hathaway, Tom Hardy, Gary Oldman, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Michael Caine, Morgan Freeman, Marion Cotillard, and Matthew Modine. The plot of The Dark Knight Rises is that it's been 8 years since the event of The Dark Knight. Batman took the fall for Harvey Dent and his crimes, so now he's hated by everybody. And Bruce Wayne just isn't Batman anymore. He has lost the will, his body's not in the best shape, and it's not until mercenary Bane comes to Gotham, wreaks havoc, and proves too much for Commissioner Gordon and his men that Bruce Wayne decides to don the cape and cowl once again. But then his body and his spirit are broken, so then he must undergo the process of conjuring up the determination and the will to be Batman, the savior Gotham needs. The acting in this movie overall was really good, if not great. Christian Bale, the only man that can play Bruce Wayne and Batman well. This movie doesn't feature a whole lot of Batman, so Christian Bale had to portray Bruce Wayne, both as the rich billionaire, but also as the struggling man behind the Batman suit. And Christian Bale did a really good job in this movie. As Bruce Wayne for the majority of the movie, he was great. Tom Hardy is Bane. Bane has angered a lot of people, the way he looks and how he's not, his character that's derived from the comics and whatnot. Well, you know what I say to that? Scarecrow and Batman Begins and Ra's al Ghul, they're similar to the characters in the comics. They have the same name, but aspects of them and the way they look and some of the things they do are different. But you know what? It worked. Heath Ledger as the Joker, yes, he's different from his Joker in the comics, but it worked. Harvey Dent, Two-Face, same thing. In the comics, Harvey Dent does not have blonde hair. Well, he had blonde hair in the movie, and as Two-Face, it worked. So Bane in this movie, he worked. Yes, he did sound a lot like Sean Connery and Robert Shaw and Darth Vader all rolled into one, but his character was so big and so menacing and so calm with the things that he said that if you were in a pitch-black room with him and you just heard him speak, you knew you were in trouble, because just his charisma and the way he carries himself. People will be fighting and he'll just be looking on, holding on to his vest, and the way he did that was just so awesome. So Tom Hardy, great job. I kind of wished that maybe more of your face was revealed, but I'm glad you weren't wearing a full-on mask like Bane is in the comics, because if you couldn't see his face at all, you'd have a hard time telling how he feels and his emotions, because we were lucky. We got to see his eyes, so that gave away what he was thinking and feeling quite well. Now, Anne Hathaway is Catwoman, or should I say Selina Kyle. She was a great Selina Kyle. She was resourceful and funny and a great con artist, and damn was she hot. But as Catwoman, no, she didn't do a good job. She had the leather, yes, and she was hot, and she did have the mask, and she did have cat-like ears, but they never referred to her once as Catwoman, and she just did a bad job. You couldn't really look at her and go, oh, that's Catwoman. You can only look at her and go, oh, that's supposed to be Catwoman. Now, is Anne Hathaway the best Catwoman depicted in film? Yes, she's better than Michelle Pfeiffer. Is Anne Hathaway the best Catwoman depicted in TV and video games? No. There was a lot I would have fixed with Catwoman, but hey, for Christopher Nolan's vision, this version of Selina Kyle worked. Gary Oldman as Commissioner Gordon. I like Gary Oldman a lot. I really do. However, I just preferred his Gordon in the other two movies. Now, I liked his acting job in this movie, but it just seemed like he didn't do as much. Now, I know it's not his character's fault, you'll see in the movie, but it just seemed like he did more and was just more present and more helpful in the other two movies. Morgan Freeman as Lucius Fox. It seemed he had more screen time and more to do in this movie, but Morgan Freeman's always good. He's good in all three of them. We just get to see him more in this one, so that works. Michael Caine is Alfred. This movie, we only get to see him in the beginning and at the end, but I liked him in this movie because he pretty much just was giving Bruce Wayne non-stop advice. Yes, Bruce Wayne would sometimes listen to him, sometimes not, but Michael Caine just had a bunch of good lines in this movie. And then Joseph Gordon-Levitt as the young, idealistic cop John Blake. He's like the guy that Commissioner Gordon takes under his wing. And I've got to say, Joseph Gordon-Levitt just doesn't stop impressing me. Every movie he comes out with, to me, he just gets better and better. I loved him in Inception. I thought he was great in this movie. Really good job, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. And then we have Marion Cotillard as Miranda Tate, this CEO who's trying to buy out Wayne Enterprises. Her role's a bit small but pivotal, so good job. And then Matthew Modine, good actor. His role was small, but he did a good job as well. Now, people can complain that, oh, Christopher Nolan uses the same actors over and over again. Well, that's true, but ever since Memento, when he used the guy that played Flash from Batman Begins, or Christian Bale and Michael Caine from Prestige, or everybody from Inception, yes, Christopher Nolan uses people over and over again, but you know what? He makes sure every single character has a role that, one, you'll remember, and two, that you'll be like, yeah, I remember that character. They were awesome. He uses his actors really, really well, and I like that. I did have one gripe about this movie. It's not going to affect the scoring, however, because I do give them some credit because they did acknowledge it in the movie, but here's the gripe I had. This movie did a really bad job of expressing how much time had gone by and how much time had passed. For example, the beginning, when we see Bane, when he's taking the doctor, all the way till about maybe an hour and a half into the movie, 6 months have gone by. But you wouldn't have realized that. Okay? When Bruce Wayne is in the prison scene, he's in there for 5 months. But you wouldn't have guessed it. You can't forget, the music in this movie was just amazing. Hans Zimmer just brought us great music in Batman Begins, better music in The Dark Knight, and here just brought us, once again, a great score to a really good, thrilling, emotional, action-packed movie. The music in this movie did for me the same thing the music did in Warrior, The Fighter, Rise of the Planet of the Apes. It grabbed the audience member and it made them feel all the emotion that the characters were going through, or it made you feel the scene that was on screen. Now, I've got to say, the last 10-15 minutes of this movie, amazing. So thrilling and exciting. I was biting my nails because I didn't know what was going to happen next. But the last 5 minutes of this movie, some people will disagree, but for me, perfect. Perfect way to end Dark Knight Rises. Perfect way to end the Christopher Nolan trilogy. And because this movie was great, was exciting, was emotional, and just was a good movie. I've seen this movie 3 times, but every time I watch it, I'm like, this movie's so good. So good. So because of all of those aspects, from a rating of a 1 to a 5, The Dark Knight Rises is getting a 5 out of 5. Christopher Nolan, not only have you brought us a great Batman movie, but you've given us an amazing Batman trilogy. So for that, I can only say thank you. So until next time, guys, see ya. Oh, forgot to show off my shirt. No. On a serious note, I would like to say that my heart goes out to all the families of the victims and the victims themselves of the Aurora, Colorado theater shooting. It's just a horrible act, and I really hope that guy gets his in prison. But I would like to say, Christian Bale, you know, I applaud you. I would clap right now, but I'm holding the camera. But you have mad, crazy respect for me from actually going to the hospitals and visiting those patients. I mean, the only thing better you could have done was dress up as Batman and do it, but still, like, that's so awesome of you to do that. So, good job, Christian Bale. You're one hell of a guy.